I thought it was pretty wild that Rolex decided to release this watch, and I'm a little bit surprised. I think a lot of people are surprised. I mean, a big thing to say about the watch is they're being made of titanium. That's very nice, and that's nice because titanium is gonna hold up much better underwater, like under salt water. Titanium is gonna do a lot better than stainless steel is, and the depth. Just the depth of this watch is unreal. The watch could go as low as the very bottom of the ocean. The lowest part of the ocean that we're aware even exists. The bottom of the Mariana Trench. And this definitely wrecks Omega, if you ask me. They have nothing even close to going as deep as this watch is able to go. I think their deepest dive watch goes to about half, if that. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I mean, considering Rolex already has the Deepsea, is anyone not surprised of this watch being created? I'm sure many of you aren't that surprised, I guess, but I certainly am, and I'm going to get to why in a moment, but I do realize that Rolex has to keep making things that advertise their brand. They have to keep conquering their competitors. They have to keep kind of laying out new challenges. But, I mean, let's just be honest here, guys. No person can dive that deep, can they? The deepest dive by a person is 332 meters. And that was back in 2014. That event lasted about 13 hours. And you know what? If they had a Rolex Submariner on, the one that does 1,000 feet, they would have been 90 feet too far underwater, and their Submariner might have not made it. But you know what? If I was a betting man, I'd bet that a Submariner would definitely make it to 1,100 feet, and that person would have been just fine. And, okay, maybe you're thinking I'm a fool, and I'm dead wrong. Well, guess what? Rolex makes the Deepsea, and that's rated over 12,000 feet of water resistance. So any human being that wants to go on a deeper dive than the deepest dive already performed by a person, they could do it with the Rolex Deepsea. Not a problem. No issues at all. I know the standard Deepsea isn't made of titanium, and that is a big deal. It does make the watch much lighter. Titanium is almost half the weight of stainless steel. Steel gets harmed by all the salt that is in the salt water of the ocean. But do you see how thick the crystal is on this new watch? That's not exactly going to be any lighter. And what I mean by that is that crystal is going to be heavier than the Deepsea's crystal is right now. And because they're made of the same material. But maybe there will be some suit or something invented at some point in time that could withstand the Mariana Trench, and Rolex could come out and shout first, as they're the first ones to come out with something that can dive that deep, that any person can buy. Even though I'm sitting here saying that I don't think it's necessary, because who's going to dive that deep and yada yada, and the Submariner could absolutely go as far as anybody else could go. Doesn't matter, it's still great marketing. The marketing for this is definitely good. If you're a watch person, if you have a Submariner, the marketing for this is still good. And I mean, Rolex already did this before. I don't know if you guys know that Rolex already made watches that could go to the bottom of the ocean. They just weren't mass produced. Not everybody could go buy them. And you know what? Not everybody's going to be able to go buy them now. Number one, most people will not be able to afford this watch, period. Number two, even if you can afford it, good luck finding one. Because yes, the market has quote unquote corrected, but Rolex is still very popular, and some of their most popular watches are very, very hard to purchase unless you know the right people. Now, I'm sure there are loads of reasons why Rolex hasn't added any complication to this piece. It does just tell the time. And I think, to me, that's disappointing. You could have thrown a date on there. You're talking big money for this watch. I think it's over 22 grand, and it doesn't have any complication. It can do all the depth of the ocean, but they couldn't put a date complication in there. And maybe that would have made it thicker, because this is a very thick watch. Now, I will say that having Mariana Trench engraved on the back of the Deepsea Challenge is pretty sexy, I gotta say. I mean, how amazing of just a conversation starter would that be if you're out with friends or people from work and you start talking about the watch on your wrist and you show the back of it and they're looking at it and they're like, wow, why does it say Mariana Trench on the back? But the problem is that I think many people in our society don't even know what the Mariana Trench even is, because that is the world we are living in, people. But it would be cool if you found the right person that noticed the back of the watch, assuming you took it off and you were really showing it off. That's definitely a fantastic conversation starter, in my opinion. And you have to ask yourself, is this watch just being released for marketing, or so that douchebags that think they need a 50mm watch can wear those watches? I mean, who wants something that big on their wrist all the time? Definitely not me. The GMT Master 2 is plenty big, plenty, and so is the Submariner. And I mean, the Deepsea's already 44mm. The Deepsea Challenge is 50mm. I mean, that's big. That's going to be a big watch, people. And it's just so thick. I've seen other videos of people saying that it's not that thick. You know, it could have been thicker, and I'm sure they're right. It could have been thicker, but that is still a giant chunk of titanium to be walking around with. How many people rocking that are going to just smack it into the bedroom door frame because it just, you know, they just weren't ready to rock a watch that's 50mm big? And going back, I mean, is this watch cool? Absolutely. Is it cool that Rolex designed a watch that can dive into the actual bottom of the ocean? That is amazing. It's Rolex flexing what a powerful company they are. It's Rolex being Rolex, which is brilliant. I mean, even the commercial Rolex made on their YouTube was sexy for this one. How could you not think that? It's just phenomenal. Let's be honest, guys, we're going to have a lot of people buying this watch immediately. There'll be lists to even get one. How long do you think the wait list for a regular person is to just buy this watch? It's going to be a long time, in my opinion. And that's going to wrap it up for this time. I couldn't not make a video on the Deepsea Challenge. I had to give you guys my thoughts. I don't want you guys to think I'm one of these D-bags who are done making watch-related videos because the market's a bit down. I do still love mechanical watches. They are just so fun for me. And as far as what's going on with me, I promise one day I'm going to be able to tell you guys what is going on, and a lot of you guys are probably going to poop yourselves. The best way I can put it right now is I'm on quite a journey. I hope you guys appreciated the video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.